Oh my gosh, I just finished this movie that I started. That was started this morning. I don't remember if I had started it and then I recorded, or if I started it after. So I maybe haven't mentioned anything about it. Oh my gosh, it is so good. It is such a mind fuck. It's on Newcastle. Oh yeah, I did talk about it because I was thinking Castle Rock. No, it's on Newcastle After Dark, and they had just posted. And it's called Pin, and so if you want to go watch it now because I'm going to give a bunch of different. It'll give some of the stuff away that you might want to be surprised about because it is so good. It is truly a psychological thriller. I mean, it truly is at the sense. And even I guess it's a Canadian made movie. And they were saying it's like the Canadian Hitchcock kind of version. It is really a super, it's a really good thriller, mystery. Like it's really good. And so I totally recommend it. It's called Pin, and they just posted it yesterday. But the things that I thought were so cool, like they show a bunch of really cool things. Like, for one thing, how people's reality, it will, for everybody's psyche is so fragile. Like your consciousness is really, truly at a fragile state. I mean, we can see with all of these people, with their psyche is so attached to this matrix system that even when things are outrageous and absurd, they still accept it. They haven't clicked into that questioning their reality yet. It's a part of the awakening process. And, how no matter how crazy stuff gets, they still figure out a way to make it work, but it's a part of this waking as consciousness to question your reality. So, and everybody is living their own reality. And what I, was talking about earlier, don't focus on someone else's reality, either to distract because, theirs is worse and, their pain and their suffering or that, oh, they've got it so much better than me. No, you got to stay focused on what your experience is about. That's what you are here to learn and expand, and people use these things to distract themselves from their true potential. So anyways, everybody, is living their own reality, right? And we are seeing that. I mean, that is played out. That's not something where I'm just saying it sounds crazy. You may not have noticed it yet, but I mean, clearly, we're all living our own reality. And in this movie, it has these two siblings, and they are entirely living a completely different reality. Like when they, even she makes a good point in the movie because she says something about their childhood. I think he was laughing and moaning about it or something he wasn't happy about, and she pointed out the things she was happy about. Like there was things that she missed, that there were good things that were there. And it's all by perspective, what you focus on. He's focused on his pain and suffering. She was focused on loss at that point, but during the time and the being in the actual moment, she was focused on things that brought her joy. So then another thing, like you don't know for sure if this kid was born, how fragile was his psyche to begin with. Like, his parents were just not a great mix for his psychosis, because it's the weirdest thing, because I don't know that I've ever seen anything played out like this in a movie before. But so the dad is this doctor, and he is got this big giant dummy, like life-size dummy that you can see through. It's transparent, so you can see all its muscles. It's a teaching thing, but it's human size, and it's creepy as fuck. It's got like real looking eyeballs and stuff. And for some reason, the dad started doing it as a ventriloquist. Like he gave this thing life to these kids, right? And he does it like a ventriloquist. So you can't see. I mean, you could, if you really stop and look at the dad's mouth, you can see it was moving. Because at one point, the daughter did do that, and she became more observant. like she started clicking in like something doesn't make sense, and started watching dad and seeing like his mouth and his eyes and stuff were a certain way when the other guy was talking. But the other kid didn't. He didn't click in. He wasn't observant in that way. But the daughter did. It was her grasp on reality, right? So then the kid, so she begins to see something's off. But this dad has this creepy ass looking dummy. So it's like a ventriloquist doll. Only can be sitting across the room. He's not moving its mouth. But it gets its own life, It becomes its own being, in a sense, because if you sat there, like to your kids, if you had a doll or anything creepy like this, and you started talking through that thing all the time, that thing would develop its own personality. They would already hear that thing's voice in their head because you're putting that in there. You're giving life to that thing inside their head, and it imprints a recording, a record, so they don't have to hear you talk anymore. They can hear that thing talk, if you can understand on that level what I'm talking about. So the dad is talking all the time with this thing, and he has this thing give the kids like moral advice and stuff. They named it Pinocchio, but they had to shorten his name because he never lied and his nose didn't grow. And so he was their moral compass, essentially. He was the one looking out for them. And the older boy who became so obsessed, like, if he ever had a problem, let's go talk to Penn. Penn will figure it out for us. We just got to talk to him. And the little girl would be like, we're not allowed to talk to him unless dad's there. Dad said we're not allowed to talk to him. The little boy was like, no, we got to talk to Penn. Penn is the most important thing. And so he becomes obsessed with Penn at a young age. So, how fragile was his psyche to begin with? Because, we're seeing this with so many people. They've got a life attachment to a narrative, why we can't penetrate into those kinds of, they're so intertwined with what they are told that we can't penetrate that. Why they have to wake up to it themselves, right? We can't interfere with that. You can't penetrate it. So this in the movie, this boy, he becomes just obsessed with this character, Pin, this creepy ass freaking big giant dummy. And he looks like a monster. And he goes creeping around, and then he sees one of the nurses in the office have sex with it. It's like, this guy's getting more alive as the time goes. Like, this Pin becomes so alive to this little boy. And whatever is going on in this little boy with his already damaged, fragile psyche, or, his mom was like a clean freak. So she wasn't attached so much to her kids. She was attached to how clean everything was. Like, their furniture was covered in plastic because, for God's sake, she can't get dirt on anything. So she had like barriers. She had up walls. So, this kid already had that working against him. Then the dad, who can't really connect, he's got to speak through this dummy to connect with his kids in a kind of, a fatherly kind of way. So this dummy becomes the father to this boy, and the dad becomes more of, just somebody who's trying to tell him what to do or something. And so, it develops all these strange dynamics, but how it plays out and continues, it's really, really so interesting that I thought there was so many good points, because how we are experiencing seeing how fragile people's psyche is and how everybody is living different realities. And it is so much about what you focus on. And, that boy, there was times, where he would be with this character, Pin, and this freaked the sister out the first time she caught him doing it. And the dad caught him doing it too when he was younger. They caught him talking to Pin, and the voice coming back, and the sister freaked out. Well, the dad freaked out too. He tried to go and get rid of Pin, but somehow Pin was the survivor in that accident. And when the sister saw it, she was totally freaked out. And she's like, when did you start doing Pin's voice? And he's like, what are you talking about? Like, he had no connection. The thing had become so real. He was so used to playing out what this being would say that it was so automatic he didn't even notice that he was the one doing it. Even to the point where he's moving his mouth. I mean, like, he's not noticing he's so cut off from himself, because it depends on what you're focused on. Like, then he he continues to get so absorbed with this character, but then this character is the one who's going to do bad stuff, like in Psycho, which has that Alfred Hitchcockish kind of thing to it. But it's really, really good for a psychological thriller, if you like movies to get you to think. And especially when you notice how much of it has to do with what is happening presently on this planet, because it is all about this, conscious awakening. And, also I saw David Rodriguez earlier. He was live right when I don't know, I looked on my phone and he was live. So I was like, oh, I'll watch. And he said, oh, the secret is out. And it just made me think the jig is up. But it is. I mean, it is. But he said some stuff that I'll share. I guess there's a lot of stuff in the news that it's leaking out why certain places were being attacked. And now it is coming out that, there were labs and they were ones that were creating more of the bioweapons. And they had some pretty nasty stuff, and they were using it on the Slavics, trying to do the same thing what they did to the Jews, just experiment on them and murder. But they're murdering us all over the planet. So, I mean, that's just what's going on in that place. But, just like I had said before, he's fighting for saving the people. He's going against the corporation to try and save his people. And it's going to domino effect out into the rest of the world, just like the corporate industry that's pulling, like, fuck them, we're not going to be any part of them. That is, probably their show, to show like, they're the ones who are doing it. But it is, I think they've already been boosted. So, and it's all going to just keep happening, like the news now is trying to say that as this stuff is coming out, oh no, I mean, that's not true, because they've always got to kind of diffuse the bombs that are coming, and they're coming one after another. They can't keep diffusing them. I mean, it's going to keep going and going and going. There's no getting away from this, because it's a cosmic cycle, and it's the end of what's going on with them. But he did say some things that were kind of scary, because he said that that there is, like I said, there's some big coming. I don't know what it is, but he made reference to, I guess, some malfunction on Trump's plane yesterday, took it down, and then he had to be flown in a different one. And, I mean, there's a lot of attempts. I mean, the cabal wants to kill him. I mean, he's just a mascot. This isn't his movement. He's just a mascot to get the people to know which direction to look. And, once people get over their judgment and biases and they see the truth, then they can see which direction to look. If you want freedom and you want to, live free from the industry, that, there's somebody over there waving a flag, and that's the direction we need to go. So they are out to kill him for that. It's just to take away our mascot. It's just to defeat us again and again and again. They want to hold us back, repress us. So, they don't want anybody to come up and say, hey guys, over here, we're getting together, and he's bringing huge crowds together. And that's what they don't want us to do. And we're seeing that movement just go across the globe. So anyways, David said, that there's a gut punch coming, and it's something with Trump. And I'm just, it just makes me sick. We just, I hope it's not going to be something like that, it's, that's sad. I mean, just because he has been so integral in this movement to be taken out before you get to enjoy the completion, that, I don't know, it's sad. So I hope that's not what it is. I don't know. I kept thinking it was nuclear, it was going to be a nuclear threat kind of thing. I don't know what's going to happen. Something big is coming. I mean, I think most people who are any kind of tapped into the energy can feel something big is coming. And, I mean, that's part of this experience that we are here to go through, because it's the end of this, it's got to be big. You can see, like, how far people's psyche can be pushed, and they still try and hold on. It's so scary to let go of what you think of the truth to be. And it's so cool too at the end of that movie, when the sister, she takes an axe and she goes after Penn and destroys Penn. And then the brother becomes Penn. He can't let go of Penn. He has to let go of himself before he can let go of the character. It's so freaking cool. The whole thing. It's just the same as, like, you could go in and watch Psycho over and over and over. I think this is one of those movies too, because it's like a cycle, like it's one of those you'd see something new, I think, all the time. It is such a psychological thriller. It's something to make you think. It's something that is intriguing to the mind. And but that is what all of this stuff is about. This awakening is to release people's minds from this, and they are fragile, and some of their psyches are going to collapse, and some are going to be holding on to the system. They're not going to be able to let go. They're not going to understand. Even the one guy, I think I've mentioned it before, this Ray Hill, he'll come in and he'll make these comments. It's like, dude, do you even listen to anything I say? Do you even know what I represent? It's so weird. And, he's like trying to pull you in and explain the Matrix to you. Like, this is what life is all about. And it's like, no, dude, that's this life that I'm letting go of. And I'm trying to lead the path so others can let go too. We don't want to be a part of that life anymore. And I'm just, dude, I think you can find your people. Don't get caught up in trying to go in. It's so crazy because these people come and look for you. Like, I don't go looking for other people to argue with. They come looking for an argument. They come looking to try and, override your opinion, to give you theirs. It's like, I don't need yours. I developed my own. So why would you spend your day trying to come in and change somebody else's? Like, it's when you go out and you're listening to a lot of people, it's a gathering of information. It's a gathering of perspectives. It's a gathering of, like, so much narrative out there, and it's up to you to decipher what's true to you, what feels right inside of you. And what do you see with your eyes and ears and nose, what is real in your real world. And, that was another thing too. I was going to say, it was about the senses, I think, and about, just popped in real quick. Let me see if I can recapture it real quick before, it was about, let's see, if you, it's always hard because then you start thinking, okay, this is taking too long. But anyways, it is, whatever I was talking about. Now I've totally lost track of what I was even talking about. I was talking about the awakening and, I don't know. It probably means that I can quit talking now. Sometimes it's hard to figure out how to stop talking about what you're talking about. I'm really am trying to help people to is to stop getting all stuck in like, focused on, there's so many people focused on who's not waking up and judging them and, releasing that judgment and knowing that they are going to go through what they have to go through to release themselves. And it's going to all be intertwined with what they have to heal and what they have to go through. And it's crazy how much stuff, like people are going to have piled up on them of being like having to see their own biases and their own judgment and their own ignorance and their own, bullying and stuff like that. That's all going to, and, what their need is to please others. All of that stuff is hard to look at inside of yourself. And there's a lot of healing that has to go on. That stuff is going to come to the surface so that they can, process it and understand themselves, because that's what everything that is going on right now is for. And the people who are awake, they're meant to, be helpful to the other people, because we're moving out of division, we're moving into unity, we're moving into service to others, not doing something because I'm going to get something out of it. I'm doing something because it's right. I feel right. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel good when I help others, into that kind of way of being, the way that we interact with each other. So, while all this is going on, it is going to, because that's going to show you who you are. If you are holding on resentment because, your cousin called you a racist and, all of these arguments that are going on with people. And then they see, like right now, it seems like, oh, they're going to just stay that way, calling me crazy and calling me a conspiracy theorist and all this stuff for, however long. But then all of a sudden, when they see the truth, and there's no denying the truth, and you have to have a hard look at yourself, that is going to be, when the tables turn, when things go right side up. And, if you are going to be holding resentment, haha, I told you, you stupid ass, you should have listened to me, then that's who you are as a person. It has nothing to do with them. It has nothing to do with what's going on. So this is all to show us who we are. Are you somebody who is forgiving? Like that, the path that Jesus tried to show people to walk, that's a real righteous, virtuous path, the path to service, the path to faith and hope and connection and, being connected to yourself. So anyways, this is all to show us all who we are, what we're made of, what kind of people are we. And this is all so that we can experience ourselves and we can grow. And when things come to the surface, so we can see this part of ourselves. Is this something that we want to keep, or is this something that I don't like about myself? And if I'm doing something I don't like about myself, why? There's probably some old wound I need to heal. So all of these things are all to help us become our best version of ourselves. And, it's super, super exciting. But it's, we have to go through a lot of pain for the excitement. Oh, and I think there was something else I was going to say about, I thought this was funny too, because I have heard this for a while now, because China was the big into the anime and, femina, the guys. And then, they had all their guys all super feminine and, real girly and, I don't know, guys probably wear a lot of makeup there and, they're just more girly. And then they started doing that over here, shaming men and shaming manly men and, making it a bad thing to be, a man and wanting it to be more feminized here. Well, you see right now, they're doing that so much here. Well, now over there, everything is, it's like illegal. You have to be a manly. Everything is manly man, because they're about to go into war, and they're trying to, get their guys pumped up, like, man, yeah, I'm a manly man, while they're trying to get our guys to like, no, you got to be a feminist, you got to take it down about 10 notches and put your woman first. That's what they're trying to do over here to these guys, because it's all in their programming, and that's the stuff that people have to see. I mean, the war's not going to go anywhere. It's just to see like what they're doing to our minds with their programming, and why. Question, why would they be doing this? And then follow the money. It will take you on a road, you know. But everyone who is doing this stuff, you know, there's going to be someone in your life that you're going to have to carry that lantern for. You're going to have to put a hand out to help them up, you know, to get themselves up out of the hole of despair, you know, be a shoulder for somebody, you know, all of that's going to be coming. You know, right now everybody's super frustrated because they think, oh, these stupid people are holding us back and they're just a bunch of brainwashed fools and stuff like that. But, you know, it's not about that. And, you know, this, whatever's going to come is going to be big, you know, it's going to be very dramatic, and it's going to really knock some people off their socks. I mean, this is an energetic wave that is like a tsunami. It has to turn us the other direction. So energetically, it's going to be big, and it's going to be painful, and it's going to be impactful. So, and it's going to take some people out. So we just have to, you know, work on ourselves, and, you know, just remember this is like we're watching a movie, that we're in a play. That's all it is. We're just in an experience so that we can feel what this all feels like. And this is a huge thing for us to expand our own consciousness. So anyways, that's what it's all about. You know, but everybody has their own reality, and it's about what you focus on. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.